Cruise ship hotel workers of Reddit. What is something you aren't allowed to tell us? Odds are someone died on your cruise. Think about all the old folks you see get onto the boat. For a lot of them this is their retirement home, and cheaper than a lot of other retirement homes. They are literally taking cruises until they die and we eventually find them in their cabins. Then we get the good ice cream because they have to clean out the freezer. Edit. This is now my most upvoted comment and I'm not ashamed of the content. This was really something crew members said to each other when we heard a code for med emergency that never got cleared over the crew comb. One time that happened and we actually got ice cream out of the tubs with dinner. That only fueled the jokes. Get a free fridge in your room. Say it is a medical need for medication. HIPAA laws mean they can't pressure details out of you. Vegas hotel worker here. It works. If it's not for meds, I'm supposed to charge you. But I don't. Because I don't get paid enough. Not allowed to sleep with guests. There's a crew bar. I've heard this. And I've also heard that crew members have gotten in trouble for bringing passengers in there while trying to get laid. I currently work as a housekeeper, seasonal summer. People leave anything and everything behind. Forget your curling iron? We probably have one. Need a charger? Yep. Toys for your child? You got it. If you ask. While we're in between rooms or cleaning a common area, we'd love to help you out. No one really asks. Edit. These occurrences policies may not be the case at every hotel, so calm down. The staff on most tall cruise lines are not trained nearly well enough to handle an abandoned ship situation. It would be chaos if it were to happen on a large vessel. The safety briefing you go to is just theater and we want to be there even less than you do. Norovirus is way more common on ships than you would think. Security staff on ships are poorly equipped to handle a major security breach like an active shooter situation. The words bright star over the P.A. indicates a medical emergency is happening and is a page for medical staff to respond. The captain earns bonuses for saving fuel. Leaving port early or arriving late means the ship can go slower and conserve fuel, which means more money for the captain. I'm thinking maybe you shouldn't have revealed that third one. Hotel worker here also. When you bring your children to our hotel for sporting events, baseball tourneys etc. We really hate you more than them because you get drunk and ignore them while they tear our hotel apart. I worked for a fancy restaurant in a tourist town that catered to cruise line passengers looking to get away from the ships. Our desserts were frozen and shipped to us from a company named Gourmet Chefs, so when you read the menu description, and we say that all of our desserts are prepared by Gourmet Chefs, we aren't lying. They were just reheated and prepared by a high school kid making $3 an hour. Hotel worker here. Ask for everything you need. It will be provided. Also complain about every problem you see. You won't believe the amount of free stuff complainers get. It's awful. And never forget to tip your bellboy. Ex-hotel employee here. If you ever need to cancel a hotel reservation but it's already past the cancellation deadline, just call and move your reservation up a few days. Wait 5 minutes. Call back. Now well within the cancellation window. And cancel your stay for free. I've read quite a few things about people dying, disappearing while on cruises. Can anyone confirm the magnitude of this? I don't know the answer to your question. But there was another cruise ship thread on a Reddit once where a guy described a disappearance. Apparently a teenage girl was trying to get into her boyfriend's cabin without her parents knowing about it by climbing around over the railings of the ship. She fell overboard and no one saw. By the time anyone realized she was gone, it was several hours later and the ship was a few hundred miles away. Apparently they picked it up on one of the cameras. Can you imagine being those parents? We went with Carnival last year. One guy had a heart attack and died while sitting around the swimming pool. The weird thing is he did it on day 3 of a 12-day cruise, so he spent all that money for nothing. I worked as an improv actor on a cruise once for 6 months. What we don't tell you is half the show is scripted. Just tying your suggestions. That norovirus is more common than you think. Worst time of my f***ing life. My mother and I caught it from this really sick dude working at the gas station on Christmas. He was waiting for someone to come cover him so he could go home. He tried to be as clean as possible, with face mask and gloves. But we still got it. I lost 20 pounds in 4 days because nothing would stay down. We both lived off Pedialyte and popsicles the entire time. 0/10. Would not recommend. Ever. That hotel sometimes overbook rooms. Typically more so in the summer since that's a busy season. They are relying on some people either cancelling or not showing up. Always a good idea to call and confirm your reservation on the day of arrival. Especially if you're gonna be late. Former hostel worker. We weren't allowed to book gypsies. Or even let them in and buy our coffee and chill in the lobby. Apparently they always stole stuff, like 100% of the time, according to my bosses. I let them in once and I got robbed. I had 2 different families of gypsies staying at my hotel about 10 years ago. They had a ton of kids. Walked around the hotel all night, making me super uncomfortable. Went outside to talk on the phone for hours. And then trashed the room and fled without payment. Never again. I am from Russia and didn't know that US had them too. Hotelier here. I worked in numerous luxury 5-star properties worldwide. You will be shocked if you know the food quality in buffets. I've seen yellow food coloring added and labeled as saffron sauce. Pan-fried sea bass? Haha. It's pan-fried white fish that comes in generic bags labeled white fish. People change the expiration date on stuff so that the food cost doesn't increase. The amount of frozen food sold and labeled as fresh is astounding. A la carte food tends to have much better quality. Sounds like you work for a bunch of scumbags. The workers all hook up with each other all the time. Time to apply for jobs on a cruise ship. Out there on the water. Where anything could happen. Of course they do. Because of the implication. Front desk manager here. If you ask for a pillow, I'll give you a pillow. If you're asking for prostitutes or hookers, you'll ask for a pillow for the second time with emphasis on the word pillow. I'm not allowed to ask whether you wanted a pillow or a pillow. But if you emphasize the word, I'll get it. Also, go to the concierge, down to the lobby, instead of calling. Everyone calls if they want a pillow. You have to be either dense or really wanting one to go to the concierge. I'm a front desk manager at a hotel. I want to jump in and say something before this gets real big. When this kind of thread pops up, someone always says that the front desks can upgrade or change rates for a guest if the guest is nice to them, tips them. While this may happen sometimes, it is not common. If one of my employees gave someone a cheapo rate, he has to explain why. It will come up in our reports. That being said, hotels are a ton of fun. I can't think of any big secrets. But I will say this. If you have any questions or requests, no matter how stupid or weird, let the staff know. We love to help people. That's why we went into the industry. And it makes it a lot better for both the guest and the staff when we can help you while you're still in the hotel. And not when you're calling corporate after checkout to complain. Going on a cruise in less than a month. We pray you don't finish all that banquet food so we can. Capital D. O. And untouched food eaten out of bus tubs. That's a thing. The staff cheat on their partners back on land all the time. Because their real love is the sea. Rock wife and assault wife. I work as a longshoreman at a cruise ship terminal. More people die on cruises than you realize. Mostly old people. Norovirus is very common but more during flu season. Crew member go missing, often hitching a free ride to New York City. Rare occasion your luggage will fall in the water being loaded onto the ship. The ship will give you a very shitty refund for your loss of luggage. And if you're going to a berth with more than one ship docked, make sure you know what ship you're going on. Idiots tend to let their luggage get on the wrong ship and have a lovely week without it. Word of advice if you're getting on a cruise ship in Nick, if your ship leaves at 4:00 get there at 1:30 or 2:00 you will avoid the crowds and the check-in lines and your luggage will be attended to right away. Kinda late. But I actually for once have a relevant comment. Capital D. I worked at Holiday Inn Express for a little bit. Spread a towel out on the counter before putting your stuff on it. Because I know some of my co-workers will go from floor to shower to toilet to sink with the same rag. We typically get 10 rags a day to clean. They are color coded to match the cleaner they're used with, i.e. bathroom is pink. Window glass is blue. Dusting solution is yellow, and we use 2 or 3 per room. If you have 15 rooms, that means you use the same cleaning rag for 3 bathrooms. And for the guest that's the best case scenario. I know girls who would do 12 rooms or more with 2 rags. Bathroom and not bathroom. Nobody gave a FCK. The goal was to remove all traces of the last guest and make it smell nice. It was the most disgusting and demeaning job I've ever had. Tip the housekeepers. That's a rude thing to call guests. Hotel worker. We advertise as our tap water as triple filtered. It's not. Complain politely and I'll compute tons of shitty. We talk about you when you walk away. Hell. Usually we talk about you before you walk up to us. Every hotel has a huge box of chargers in back of house. Every kind of charger imaginable. I don't even bring one with me when I travel anymore. A few months ago I went to Vegas. Forgot my charger. I remembered this trick and went to the desk asking if someone found a charger. They said I needed to talk to casino security about it. So I decided why not. And went and talked to them about it. In order to get my item back I needed to provide my room number. The time within an hour for when it was lost. Where it was lost. And other stuff like that. So I didn't get a charger. Ended up going to the store and paying $25 for one that didn't work. So either Vegas is onto this trick or they have problems with homeless people coming in and getting chargers and selling them for money. Either way they cared way more than I thought they would. Been on 3 cruises now as a passenger. Last one was great. Heaps of PPL turfed out in far-flung ports. 2 women got in a punch-up in the laundry. Things got heated over the shortage of machines, then someone threw chocolate into a dryer. Cue the punching. Another couple got caught shagging in the elevator at 11 PM by a family with young kids. The shagging CPL were married too. Just not to each other. Edit. I forgot about the molester. He was knocking on cabin doors and if a guy answered he'd apologize and leave. If a lady answered he was grabbing some boob and running off. Wow, THTWS, really interesting. There aren't enough lifeboats on most modern cruise ships. Generally speaking. About 2/3 of those on board can fit on the boats and rafts. The assumptions being a, the ship won't sink, and b, if it does, about 1/3 of the passengers wouldn't make it to the boats anyway. For legal purposes. However, the cruise line needs to be covered in case there is a sinking. So, once 2/3 of berths have been booked, the remainder are offered on heavy discounts. The kind you see advertised. If you do book one of those on sale berths, read the small print on your booking and you will find that you are only entitled to a place on the boat if no full price passengers are there to claim it. Obviously. We try to avoid telling people that. Source. I work in legal for a cruise company and OP forgot to tag this as serious. Edit. I get that this upsets people. I do see your point of view. But this is a joke. You can always scroll past it to the other answers. That is all. Don't work on a cruise ship. But ended up hanging out with several people who do while drunk the last night of a cruise. If you're looking for somewhere discreet and your room is not available for whatever reason. The laundry rooms don't have cameras and do have locks on the doors. Wild tea happens there late at night. Was anyone working on the Carnival Triumph that got stranded? My aunt was on there and she is absolutely evil, so just know everything you went through helped karma serve a mean lady. I like these threads because the service industry people come in and act really condescending and arrogant, like their secrets of food being frozen is actually a secret to anyone. Not really a secret, but I found it interesting from beasing with the waiter on my cruise. If you're eating in the dining room, the kitchen is set up so for the first 15ish minutes the cooks are all turning out various appetizers, salads, and soups. So chef 1, 2, and 3 are all making shrimp cocktail after shrimp cocktail and throwing it on the line. Chef 4, 5, 6 are making the escargot, etc. Your server takes your order and starts grabbing items off the line. After the 15 minutes are up, the cooks switch the line over to entree production. Same process repeats. The problem is when you order an appetizer, salad, or soup after your entree or after the line has swapped over. It messes up the flow and they have a smaller number of cooks available to make any of those out of order items. Generally speaking, hotel guests who book through Expedia and other websites are expendable if we gotta walk someone. Also, you are booking the SHTTY rooms at the highest price if you do it last minute. Do it long in advance and you are still booking crappy inventory. Groups and corporate travelers always get better treatment cause they come back and represent a lot more login term revenue than you. People that book online are like people that switch toothpaste cause one is cheaper this week. You are not loyal. If you were, you'd book direct. Goddamn right I'm not loyal. You'll charge me $130 a night but I can find it for $89 on Booking.com hotels. Com Expedia or book it for $69 on Prisaline. Easy choice. The crew parties are crazy. Went on a cruise last year with some friends that toured Japan and Russia. The cruise mostly had old people on it so we decided to look for some fun. We got a tip from some other passengers that the cruise have parties downstairs where the passengers cannot access. So me and my crew decided to sneak down when everyone was asleep. I remember we could hear the music as we went further down and we finally hit this room that had all the entertainers and workers partying hard at the crew bar. We were only able to stay for about 10-15 minutes before some of the staff recognized us as the passengers and booted us out. I'll never forget that though.